get so wise so young?
Oh, I know nothing about wisdom. I know nothing about wisdom. I think I was always just encouraged to speak from my heart and to meet people where they're at and just try to bring love to like every moment and every situation. I had a lot of good teachers along my way, primarily my mother and father. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by their love. Not just all the time, but even here in this space, they came and joined at the GG Awards. It was so nice.
They're a delight.
Yeah, they're really special. And so, not that I'm here to show them off, but there's a way of like helping, anybody who wants to understand my work, give them the context of like, oh, this was the love that I was raised in. And understanding. And I guess that's why I'm so hopeful about this country and what we could do, is because Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people loving each other, that's my whole life. That's all I've known. That's my example of what love is, we may not speak the same language, we may not have, the same starting place of understanding, but we can find each other in the middle. And I think that's a hope, that's a vision, that's a dream that is certainly less cynical than a lot of hopes and a lot of visions, and a lot of dreams that are being offered from our political class and from the media. And so I think, and that's why arts is a really powerful forum and to offer that, right? Because, how I was raised, and I must speak her name in this place. Her name's Maggie Paul, and she's an elder from the East Coast, living now at St. Mary's First Nation.
Let's talk about Maggie Paul for a minute.
Please.
Tell us about Maggie and how she led you to essentially your first record. Tell us that story.
Maggie Paul. What can you say about Maggie Paul that hasn't already been said? And yet there's still so much. We could fill books and sonnets dedicated to not only her as a person, but the continuum that she has started. Also to say, I'm not the only student of Maggie Paul, and the more I go around across Turtle Island, I meet people. Because in the 70s, she was going around and sharing our songs with people. Wow. Going into community, going into the women's prison, really going and singing for people, And everywhere I go, I speak her name, I meet somebody in the audience says, I know Maggie Paul's songs too. She taught me, And so it's to understand somebody with such immense impact is to really only understand the outward-facing nature of anybody. There's so much else that sits inside and lays inside. Maggie taught me songs. She more than that, she taught me philosophies and how to frame the world and how to think about love. Not just in the ways that Hallmark's going to tell us that we should be loving each other, or the movies on the W Network are going to tell us how to love each other. It's really moving in love, and meeting each other, whatever that looks like. These are things that I've learned from this woman. And
well, it sounds like she planted a seed in you, and now you're taking that seed and you're planting it in so many other people with the work that you do.
It's continuum, like we were talking about earlier. We stand on shoulders and we create the path, right? Because the hope is that it gets a little easier every generation, and the kinds of things that, just think about this, how drastically this country, with just specific regards to how we treat Native people, has shifted within her life,
What does receiving this award mean to you, Jeremy?
Over these past couple of days, I've been able to sit and reflect on the breadth of meanings, It doesn't just mean one thing. Because to sit here and say, oh, I've worked so hard for this, I've really put in a decade of my life touring and trying to offer songs to people, and one should sit in the acknowledgement that it's been offered to you with gratitude and with the humility, and I do, absolutely. I think I also have to contextualize it too in a history that has sought to dispossess and to make invisible Indigenous ways and stories and languages, and specifically these songs. I think it's an important context because it underscores the value of material culture and how language is a powerful vehicle, and songs are a powerful vehicle, and stories are a powerful vehicle. Not just to entertain us and tell us a story, but to actually get to know ourselves. And so for me, that's the I guess the raison d'être, the whole goal of what I'm doing is trying to reflect beauty back at a people that have been starved of our beauty.
What was the best advice you ever got?
Oh,
I'm just
that was a tough one for me.
No, I know.
Because
I know.
in a certain way, I don't really believe in advice.
Right.
I think we're all on our own journey, and we need to really invest in listening to ourselves. And maybe that is the advice, really, is to like come in to know yourself and love each other. I will say something that kind of sits on me as a piece of advice that's kind of been offered to me time and time again, and I'm pretty sure lots of people will know this one, is listen to your elders. Listen to your elders. And that takes a certain kind of humility to say, they know something I don't know, just based on how long they've been here, their experiences. I may not agree with it, but there's something that they know that I don't know. And I think that's, if we operated from that place as a society, first individually, of course, but I think societally, if we had that kind of societal humility, I don't think we'd be in the same place we are on the globe right now.